Hey, what's going on, guys? Short video here today. Just wanted to show you my finished work on my non-entry into the Toys and Tanks contest. So, of course, the Toys and Tanks contest is still ongoing at the moment. And, of course, I cannot enter myself personally, but I wanted to make an entry just kind of along with you guys, those of you who are participating. And so here is my finished work of combining the Ramune version of Noseru here with the Gourai Kai white version to make a pastel Ramune version of Noseru and Gourai here. Now, like I talked about in the work in progress video, if you guys saw that, just kind of going over kind of how I was setting up the build and how I was planning out the colors and everything. What I mentioned is that I didn't want the focus of these two to be, like 100% or 80% or almost entirely on the Gourai and having the Noseru just as like a kind of separate side kind of equipment. I wanted to try, if I could, to try to make them sort of like the emphasis to be evenly distributed between the two model kits as being kind of like equal halves of a set here. And so hopefully I kind of achieved that. Part of how I wanted to achieve that was just in the posing, having the Noseru kind of posed a little bit more towards the front when like viewing the pair from the front. So I have the Noseru kind of a little bit stood up, a little bit taller, a little bit more to the front there, and just kind of hopefully drawing in plenty of attention there on its own. But obviously with the Gourai being a more human character, just from our perspective as the audience, as humans, looking at this, our attention is going to be drawn to the human as the kind of main subject, and I think that's just kind of unavoidable. But I wanted to try to at least have them just kind of, 50-50 sharing the spotlight here for this combination build of the two. And I think it came out looking pretty good. I'm happy with the combination there of the two kits. The color was interesting. The color was difficult to kind of figure out exactly how I wanted to do it. I really liked the look of the Gourai in white, so I wanted to keep it mostly white. But then like thinking about how I wanted to utilize the blue, because I did really want to also utilize that E7 Maca pastel blue color. And I obviously ended up using a lot more of that than maybe I originally intended. I was originally thinking, maybe I could just use some of it here or there, but I didn't want to use it on like just two or three little parts or something. So it was either use it a really little bit or use it a lot. And so I opted to just use it a lot, obviously for like all of the Gourai's armor, and then for what little of the Noseru's armor, which I kept on there. So if you guys remember from that video before, that you have for the Noseru, you have all of the armor for that kit in either clear or opaque blue. And so I opted to just keep the opaque parts as just like the head of the front centerpiece there. You could do it all clear or you could do it all opaque, just kind of depending on what you want with that kit, which is kind of cool. But I opted for, having a couple of pieces in clear, a couple of pieces in opaque like this. So there's going to be some of that pastel blue on the Noseru as well. And then obviously a lot on the Gourai. And even after using the color, it was still a little bit too bright. Like I said, I wanted to keep the colors very light, kind of very similar to the original colors of the kit. The Gourai was originally all in white, basically, and the Noseru was very light colored as well. So actually what I ended up doing was a little trick where in your final top coat, you can just kind of tint the top coat very slightly. And so what I did was just put a tiny little drop of off-white paint into the top coat so that the top coat like really dulled and lightened the colors down. So the blue, even though it's a pastel blue color paint, it was still a little bit too bright for what I wanted. It worked well. When I first put that drop of white paint into the top coat and started mixing it up, I was thinking this is way too milky, it's way too white, it's not going to work, it's just going to make everything look like it has a white layer over it, or like a white filter over it. It's not going to look good. But once I started spraying it, I realized, okay, I think this is going to work, and I'm happy with how it turned out. So yeah, sometimes you try things, and I think it worked out pretty well in this case. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. There was some really fun bits to the build. It's actually the first time that I've ever fully painted a Frame Arms Girl kit, so that was fun, and there was certainly some challenges that went along with that, with a lot of the parts being in ABS, especially the skin tone color parts. And I should mention about that, the skin tone parts for the Gourai are actually not painted, so those are just the bare plastic. And so like the seam lines on the shoulders, the seam lines on the thighs just have to be removed, and very carefully so that you can remove them and not have to repaint. So obviously there's not a whole lot of those parts showing, and so they're kind of like a little bit more hidden. And there's more that you could do to the skin tone parts to kind of, while not fully painting them, you could kind of dress them up a little bit with like some kind of pigment shading and stuff like that you can do, which I didn't do for this one. I think there was very little of the skin tone parts showing. It wasn't really worth trying to make the skin tone parts look any better than they already do. There is already a little bit of shading just on the pre-printed face. Already has the kind of like the rosy cheeks and stuff on there, so I think that it just kind of looked fine for what it was. And then when it came to doing the decals as well, I wasn't really sure what I had in mind as far as the decals for us, so I just kind of thought about it and looked through a bunch of decals and realized I have a whole lot of decals. And looking through everything, I just couldn't really find much that I really quite liked for these, so I went very, very minimal on the decals. It was just because everything that I was looking through, I was like, well, I don't want to make it like I don't want to add a whole bunch of decals, like a whole bunch of little tiny ones. I also don't want to have it like too stylized by, making it, having some like really stylized decals, like a big like kanji decal or something like that. So I thought I'm going to keep it like pretty minimal with just a couple of like numbering decals on it. And then that's pretty much about it. So yeah, I think it all came out pretty well. I think the clear parts for the Gourai's gun that are painted in it's just a clear blue-green color from Gaia Notes. It's a little bit darker than I would have liked. I would have liked if it's a little bit lighter clear color, sort of to match a little bit closer to the Noseru's clear parts. But let me know your thoughts on that. I mean, I think it looks pretty good, but I do kind of wish that it was maybe a little bit lighter. Could ultimately strip and repaint those parts. Maybe just make it just plain clear, not even try to make it clear blue at all, but just plain clear, honestly, I think probably would look maybe just as good. So I might do that. I might actually take those parts off and strip the clear blue and just have those in just plain clear. I think might be a good way to go with those. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And if you guys are working on your entries for the Toys and Tags contest, good luck to y'all. You do still have plenty of time still left on that at the moment. You still have about a month left, just under a month. So you've got till the end of March to get that all done. And those of you guys who are participating in the contest, I hope you're having fun working on your kits, whether you're doing a Notchin kit or a Maruttoys kit. I think it's going to be fun. And again, just a reminder to you guys that the judges for those are going to be the original designers. So on the Maruttoys side, we've got Miz-san, who's the designer behind Maruttoys. It's going to be our guest judge. For the Notchin side, we've got Moi-san, who is the designer of all the Notchin stuff, and he's going to be the guest judge for those. So really awesome. Definitely an exciting opportunity, I think, for you guys to have your works judged by the designers of the kits, of the designs. This is really cool. So I hope that you guys are having fun working on your entries. And that's going to do it for this video. So like I said, just wanted to share with you guys my finished work. I'm anxious to hear your thoughts in the comment section. If you want to check out some of the kits for yourself, you can check out the link in the video description to USA Gundam Store. If you have no idea what I'm talking about the contest, you can check out the original announcement video for that. And a reminder to you guys, too, that there's also a photography contest in there as well. So if you don't feel like custom building something, if you are much more comfortable with your photography skills and you just want to do some cool like model kit photography, you can do that. So check out those videos. I'll put links to both of those videos talking about the original contest as well as the added kind of photo category as well. There'll be links in the video description as well, so check those out. But as always, guys, thank you all so much for all of your support. Till next time, have a great day, guys. I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.